You know, I'm not kidding you. It was like 7 guys that would do that, and they were just like, they just snapped. And see, and usually when we have these things that come out, it's because we have had enough. Don't trip. I'm going to get you guys unexpected when you guys start talking, watch. You know, it's because when you guys have had enough, and that's the thing. When you come into worship, when you come and spend time with God, it's because you come and you say, God, this anger is just bugging me really bad. God, I have been through this, that, and you don't need to be holding it inside and one day just explode. You know, imagine you one day end up where you always wanted to be. You go through all your schooling. You end up in the career that you want. You get the job that you wanted. But because you never learned to just let go, you never learn to just control your anger. And every time that something gets you mad, let it go. Don't hold it inside. I'm not saying go punch the person. I'm saying don't do what the world tells us to do. Put it up again. The world tells us that when you get angry, you allow resentment to grow. Can you guys put it up? I think when you get angry, you're allowing resentment to grow. And that resentment, that little thing of like, oh, we were really good friends once, but now I'm just going to say hi. Because you hurt me one time, and because you hurt me so bad, I don't think I could talk to you as much anymore. You know, and you have resentment, and you can't talk to them the same way. And you can't because you hold inside what they told. And every time you look at them, it's like, oh man, why are they there? Why are they here? Oh, look who came. Let me leave. You know, you hold resentment, and this resentment turns into hatred. And you want to know something? Hatred can lead into rage. And rage is something. It's when it got to a point where you can't control it anymore. You can't control it anymore. You know, I think we have a really good relationship with my mom. And there may be times that we talk to her a little bugged, but never scream at her. Never cuss at her. You know, and there's a lot of young kids that they think because Eminem cursed his mom in a song and this sounds cool, we can go and do it too. That we go and tell our friends, F my dad, F my mom, this and that, and this and you wanna know why? Because they have allowed the anger to just dwell inside of them. And because it dwells, it grows. And it's something that one day it's going to explode. And it might explode on the wrong person. You know, have you ever felt like someone just exploded on you and with this rage and you didn't even really do anything? And a lot of times that has to do with the fact that they have gone through so many things in the past that have gained up. And because you just came and kind of tapped them, don't touch me, I'm tired. But it happens because we don't learn to control our anger. But this is the cool thing, okay? That there is a really, really cool way. God's way, okay? The world tells us that anger should lead us into resentment. You know, you hate someone, don't talk to them, ignore them, blah, blah, blah. Then hate them, you know? Try to make their lives miserable. And one day, when you have rage, go shoot them. You know? The world tells us that stuff. But God's way is this. God's way is love God. You're mad, but you know what? Love God. I get mad, but I love God. Okay? And because you learn to love God, you learn to love others as you love yourself. You learn to love others as you love yourself. Let me give you guys this verse. It says in Matthew 22, 37, and 39, okay? It says the following. Jesus answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Listen, God tells us to love those people that we dislike the most. Those people that you have grown resentment to. Those people that you have grown hatred to. Yes, I know that there's people that have done terrible things to us when we were young. I know that there may be uncles or parents or stepfathers that have told us things and maybe even done things to us that just caused us resentment and this hatred towards them. And what are you saying, Hugo? That I have to love them? God says that you have to love them, not because of them, but because of you. Because God cares so much about you and me that He wants us to love even the people that have hurt us the most so that we can live a life that pleases Him. So that we can live a life in peace. So that one day God can take us anywhere and we won't have to be hiding from anyone. We won't have to be oh, I hate that person, hate this person. Yes, God wants us to love them too. Listen. Doesn't mean you have to talk to them. When I was in Bible school, there was this one guy he hated me. I felt like he did. It was not really my fault, but semi. Not really though. You tell me, okay, this is practically the reasons why, okay? We ended up in the same dorm. It was 4 of us in one dorm. We ended up in the same dorm. And then everyone had to donate 2 hours of community service. So I was doing maintenance, and like the yard and anything that had to be fixed. I was doing that. And apparently he started doing it too. And he's like a year and a half ahead of me, so he was like a second year. I was the first semester and stuff. He was a year and a half ahead of me. And the guy that was in charge of that, he left. So guess who they put there in charge? They put me. And he didn't like the fact that I had to be telling him what to do because he was a second year. Okay? We're talking about Bible school. That's crazy. And then, oh, that's cool. And guess what his favorite sport is? Soccer. And guess what? When we played, guess who he couldn't get past? And I was always gave him a hard time and like, oh, he's not. And just to top it off, to put the cherry on top, I didn't know though, I promise. There was a girl, wait. Don't get it wrong. There was a girl who lived outside, and that girl's best friend was a very close friend of mine, okay? And I didn't even know this girl. I didn't know her. So she asked me, she's like, hey, why don't, I want my friend to go to banquet, so why don't, because at the end of every semester we'll go to banquet. Like, why don't you go with her? I'm like, you know what, I really don't want to date, because I wasn't dating at that time. I didn't want to. I really don't want to date, and I don't want her to think, that there's anything, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, it's just a friendship thing. I was like, okay, as long as she understands. I haven't even met the girl, okay? So I didn't even know how she looked like, okay? I didn't even know how she looked like. So I didn't even meet the girl, and so apparently we went. And that same day that we made it official, that she was going to go with me, I go into my room, and he's in the computer showing our other roommates the girl that he's going to ask to go to the banquet with him. And it was her. And the other guys knew. And I just went, because I had the top bunk bed. I went and I laid down, and one of the other guys was like, Hugo, just tell him already. Tell him what? Just like, they're like, Hugo, tell him. I'm like, tell him what? I don't have nothing to tell him. And so they told him, and because of that, it was like really, really bad. And like every time we played, like he tried to kick the ball hard so that it would hit me. And he would do this type of stuff, And even that guy, I had to love him. He was hard to deal with. He was really hard to deal with, but I had to learn to love him because that's what God says, okay? Look at the second verse, James 1:20. Man's anger does not achieve God's righteous purpose. Understand this, that your anger and my anger will not achieve what God wants us to do in our lives. You get this, that God has a purpose for your life and my life, that there's somewhere where God is leading you, whether it's in church or whether it's in the secular world with some type of business or some type of position, anything that you're going to do, there's somewhere that God's trying to lead you. And that's His purpose for your life. But anger is not part of His purpose for your life. Anger will not lead you to where God wants to lead you. Because anger will destroy, have you ever I've met some really cool people because I've seen them snap. I'm like, I'm going to get away from them. And you could have probably had one of the best friendships, but because they don't know how to control it, you push away. So let me give you a few reasons, a few ways on how to control your anger. Number one, remember the result, okay? The first thing you need to do to control your anger is remember the result. Proverbs 29:22, 15, and 18 says, a hot-tempered person, say that's me, say, come on. No, that's you. Like me as in you. Say you. That's me, you know. Sometimes you get a hot-tempered person. Gets into all kinds of trouble. Hot temper causes arguments. Have you ever gotten in a fight for the dumbest reason ever with your best friend? I remember me and Kevin, when we were in high school, we were always together. Literally. Okay? Literally, we were always together. And sometimes we would fight for the dumbest reasons. The dumbest things. You know, really dumb things. Because a lot of times he couldn't control himself, and a lot of times I couldn't control myself. So it was a lot of arguments. This one time I had a hatchback Honda Civic. You know, when I was like a sophomore, I had a hatchback Honda Civic, and you know, and it was stick shift, and it was really nice and everything. Nestor gave it to me. You know, that's why I love my brother. He gave me a lot of stuff. I think he spoiled me, and my parents did too. So he gave me his car. He gave it to me. And I was driving one day, you know, from school to the house, and I had a friend there. And he was like this tagger type of guy, you know. And the cops stopped me. And they stopped me, and, you know, I was like, dude, just be cool, you know don't. But this guy's like so hot-tempered that he started giving attitude to the cop for no reason. And why'd you stop him? You don't have to stop him. He's like, and I was like, oh, man. He's all like, and the cops told me, I'm like, hey, you better tell your friend to be quiet or you're really going to get busted. And this guy wouldn't shut up. I'm like, dude, be quiet. Shut up, man. Shut up. And he kept on talking, and he got angry because he hates cops. You know, all the people that hate cops are the people that do bad stuff. It's the truth. You know, I don't have a problem with cops. You know, I hate the pigs. Why? Because you're always getting in trouble by them. Don't do things that causes you to not like them, and you won't have a problem. So, you know, he didn't like them, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, so whatever, he left, and the cops are like, you know what? To be honest, I wouldn't have even given you a ticket, but because your friend opened the mouth, I'm taking the car away and giving you a ticket because I didn't have a license. So I was like, thank you. You know, because he couldn't control. It causes anger. So remember the results of your anger. Proverbs 15:17 says, people with hot tempers do foolish things. Have you ever seen someone, because they're mad, they do the dumbest thing ever? You know, my dad does this thing with his teeth. You know, I can't even do it. You know, he does that. And then, like, when he would get mad, he used to do this. You know, and like, right, you remember, Monk? You know, my dad would do this stuff, and like he would get mad, and you're like, wait for it, yeah, and we would start laughing, you know, and then do those foolish things. Hey, don't laugh, because we have our own. We all have our own. And see, you got to remember, you got to look at yourself and look at the results. Proverbs 11:29 says, the fool who provokes his family to anger and resentment will finally have nothing worthwhile left. You know, don't be the person that causes problems in your household. Control the anger. Okay, so the second reason is delay your anger by controlling your response. Okay, control your response. I know that we get angry and people bug you, and there's times that JB is just like grabbing my ear and he's trying to, and I'm just like, you know, and you hold it because you delay your anger by controlling your response. You don't have to say something there and then. I know they spoke bad about you. I know that they said something to you that really bugged you or did something that bugged you, but you delay it. You hold on and really just think about it and say, is it really worth saying? Like, I know he hurt me, but do I really have to hurt them back? You know, is it really worth saying? Just hold it. You know, Proverbs 16:32 says, patience is better than strength. Controlling your temper is better than capturing a city. Proverbs 29:11 says, a stupid person, yes, it is stupid. A stupid person gives free rein to his anger. A wise person waits and lets it grow cool.